So it has finally been confirmed, Module 25, Menzoberranzan, is launching on the 28th of March. So in this video we're going to cover all this module is going to have to offer for us players. You can read through the blog here, link in the description, but additionally there's some more information with regards to how the area was created, how this module was created, the reasoning, etc., with interview between the executive producer and Ore Salvador and his son, and you can read through that here on Screen Rant. I read through it myself earlier today. Not a whole lot of interesting things in terms of things that are going to affect you as a player in Neverwinter. Just a bunch of story building and just some interesting insights in how they put things together and yeah, what it all means to these guys. Again, link in the description below. So of course this will be riddled with spoilers for the next module for any of you if concerned. Just next module, March the 28th. That'll be 3 days before the launch of the D&D movie on the 31st, if I'm not mistaken. So to start things off, you will begin your adventure with Whispers in the Dark to unlock the Menzoberranzan Adventure Zone and campaign. You will unlock the hub area within Menzoberranzan. It's just kind of a tucked away secretive area. And you will then unlock access to progressing the campaign Menzoberranzan, which will require you normally to have 55,000 item level. However, for the first few weeks, anybody will be able to access the area regardless of your item level, and you get scaled up. Thus, you should be able to fight the enemies here without too much trouble. So that's always good, and you'll always retain access to the area once you unlock it, allowing you always to be scaled up. So highly recommend it if you're a new player to the game. So this campaign just give us a bunch of fashion items, allow us to progress along it, and ultimately giving us a legendary insignia of the new types. As yes, we have a bunch of new enchantments, insignias, I'll cover in a second, but very nicely with this campaign, we're going to be able to obtain a coal moat after 8 weeks. This campaign, to fully complete, will take us 10 weeks, much like North Dark Reaches, with a weekly haul of 100 per week. No way to increase that. Just a bunch of boon points here, and the ability to gain some extra benefits every week through these tasks. Now, with regards to the rewards from this campaign, we can see straight up here there's going to be a new trial, so you can buy the key for that. Bunch of overloads for demon slaying and warding, just a vanity pet. You have your new insignias, which I don't see as such a big deal here. They have reduced the cost significantly, so buying a blue insignia for 10,000, I guess it's still pretty expensive, but it's an option there, and the stats on these aren't the best, but you could make use of them. New enchantments here, 3 types there with dual stats. They will have slightly higher stats in total than our single stat ones, making them ever so slightly best in slot, but none of them are going to fit a healer. Tanks, I guess, can make use of them, and so can DPS, but I wouldn't worry about it too much. And then the new combat enchantments. The lightning flash, absolutely going to be best in slot for healers and damage dealers, and I would highly recommend that anybody looking to min-max in regards to endgame should pick this up and obtain it by the sheer amount of stats it gives us. It's just insane, invaluable. The other enchantments there, the other combat enchantments, are pretty underwhelming. All of this stuff you could very easily obtain just by doing a bit of questing and doing your lockdown event or killing mini bosses. Then you'll be able to get some new legendary gear here. The bonuses on them are basically stepping stone bonuses. Some builds you might be able to make use of them, like this helmet got updated. It can give now 7.5% maximum power with all stacks. But outside of that, there are 1 or 2 useful options on the other classes. We can see all of the options just here, and I do intend to go over them again in a dedicated video, as they have gone and updated some of the bonuses to be a bit more useful. But you'll mainly get this gear as stepping stone stuff, so you'll obtain it just by playing the campaign, doing quests, and so very simply anybody will be able to obtain them, just pretty expensive on the Astral Diamond side. And the main reason then to get it is a new player for the item level. some actual useful bonuses here and there, and then you'll make your way to work towards getting like the Dragon Hunt gear from module 23. Still very much best in slot with those bonuses, having a ton of stats. Again, that's all from Dragon Slayer. Recommend going and watching videos on how to get this stuff. And then we will have a new trial, and this will allow us to get a new weapon set. Those of us who are able to complete that trial will have something to go for. It will be best in slot for damage dealers, and otherwise looks pretty cool on some classes. And outside of that, you'll be able to upgrade your Dark Maiden's gear that you got within Master Temple of the Spider to have slightly higher bonuses there. That's about it for the campaign. You get the new area. This is the hub. You have all your quest giver NPCs here amongst some vendors on the other side. Very nicely, once you complete week 3, you will have 4 weekly quests which you can just simply do to get all of the weekly haul. No need to do any singular repeatable quests. Now this here you can see is the north section of the new zone. We're going to be within the city itself, Menzoberranzan, at least a section of it. It all looks pretty cool. I think they did a very good job with regards to the art style of it, all linked towards drow and so on, and I would assume that the creator himself, or a Salvador, had a lot to play with that as well, along with the D&D thematics. And then down in the southern district here, the southern section of the map, it looks a bit more rustic with some ramshackle shelters, but still again those pretty proud buildings throughout those houses for your posh drow. And then you have walls dividing up the sectors, heroic encounters, and what's really nice is you can have a lot of areas to complete your quests. You can see, for example, I need to save blaspheme warriors. I can do it in this section, and here, or here. Plenty of areas to do it. Or I need to kill demons. I can do it here, or here. And this city is freaking gigantic. It's huge. You're going to have a new mechanic in here which is called lockdown, where basically you'll do a bunch of questing and then lockdown will begin, and you'll have these Drider captains you can beat up. You'll generally want to group up with people to kill them together, and they'll drop you some currency to be able to buy the new gear, buy the new enchantments. And then you can do heroic encounters for some extra reagents, and ultimately again you can check the collections. That's all the new stuff. You have this Menzoberranzan gear you can get simply by just doing some questing. You can upgrade your Dark Maiden's gear. You'll have to do more Master Temple of the Spider in order to do so. Many of you would have prepared. You can watch my dedicated video for that. We will be getting a new artifact set dropping from the new trial. We'll be getting a legendary one that you can get, I believe, through the campaign primarily, just by doing questing. I've still yet to get it. And then you'll be able to get some new rings from the new trial. These will be best in slot within the new trial and potentially outside of it as well, at least for damage dealers. But you'll have to beat it on master version, and you'll have to beat it first without them in order to obtain them. Then within the new zone, you can beat up those mini bosses and the captains, getting legendary and epic rings, all of which are again just stepping stone gear. None of it's too impressive. And also then you can get some new shirt and pants from doing your heroic encounters within this new area. 2 of the shards, this one here for damage against drow and spiders, and this one here, damage resistance against drow and spiders, will be best in slot for your Temple of the Spider. You will have mini bosses scattered throughout. I've made a map as well. You can check my videos on that. They'll be linked below. And the mini bosses will drop you some currency again in order to obtain all the new stuff. And otherwise, there will be a new trial. And for endgame players, this trial will be a lot of fun. But it won't be locked just to endgame players. There will be a standard version that'll get thrown in the random trial queue. So you'll get it through that. You can queue up to it publicly as well and just try and beat it. It might be a bit on the rough side, on the difficult side when you're starting out, like to begin with, because people won't know any of the mechanics. There's not a whole lot of mechanics you will have to pay attention to. Generally, you should be able to ignore most of them, but once people do play some of the mechanics, it just gets easier. So I would recommend learning a bit of the mechanics before going in there. The normal version, get it in RTQ, you can be that hero who knows what they're doing and make the whole run a bit smoother. But the master version, on the other hand, you'll need a fully coordinated group who have all their characters optimized, and you'll need a lot of practice learning those mechanics to finally ultimately beat it. But this trial should be a lot of fun. The unfortunate thing is, the only thing coming from here will be the new weapons and the new artifact set that's pretty useless. Again, I've covered that in dedicated videos. And so I don't see this trial as going to be a huge success other than people just wanting to complete it. Once they've completed and the novelty wears off, people will be kind of like, why bother coming back? But it's nothing new at this point. Overall, module 25 for me looks like a good module. New content with regards to a new trial, that'd be my main focus for that probably entire module. Focusing on it, getting people to learn it, and just having fun running it. Outside of that, bunch of questing in the new zone. You can explore around. Many of you can have fun with that. And if you're on the lower end of the player base, you do get a standard version of the new trial, so you can at least experience it to its fullest. You can get a group of friends and you can see how it is for you guys. You don't have to go in solo with a bunch of randoms. That's generally not what you do in endgame anyway, so you can start small, build up, and all grow together. So again, module 25 launching on March the 28th, and that'll be for all platforms, PC, Xbox, and PS. It has been for the preview server on PC, available for over a month now. So yes, many people have got to experience that. They've been able to experience the new trial, and you might say it's all unfair, but it's not exactly the largest dev team and they need a bit of help playtesting. So there's that. Unfortunately, there's a lot of red tape around creating preview servers and test shards for consoles because of the way they need to continually go back and forth between like Microsoft and Sony, have permissions, etc. Massive thank you again to all of these channel members. I'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.